What's up, awesome YouTubers? Ryan1988 or Justin back here to do a brief movie review. I'm really liking doing some of these movie reviews. I did one for The Dark and the Wicked, and my last video was Valentine. And so I want to talk about movies I either love or movies that I'm revisiting that I haven't seen in a long time, or first time watches that I could recommend to you guys. So today I want to talk about a film that came out in 2008 or 2009. I remember the cover, and I remember seeing this movie because somebody had recommended it at the time to watch it. And man, I loved it then, and I still love it now. And it'd been about 12 or 13 years since I'd seen it, so sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. Sometimes you still love a movie, especially like a movie that you only saw once back in the day. And sometimes you could still love the movie. And I think I loved it even more this time around. If you've seen the cover, you probably have seen it when it came out in retail stores or maybe online you came across it. And it doesn't have like the best cover. It's not going to be something that you are going to go, oh, I need to watch that because of the cover. But I found out about the movie because somebody recommended it. And so if you guys have not heard about this movie, I'm going to recommend it to you guys today. I'm going to give you a brief review of the film. So I hope you enjoy this review and stay tuned for more reviews because I'm having a blast doing them. I'm getting better at them. I'm getting more comfortable doing reviews. And they're more like just recommendations. So it's more like just telling you guys why I love these movies. And so the movie I'm going to talk about is 100 Feet. 2008 or 2009 is when this came out. And it came out on Blu-ray and DVD. I remember having the DVD, and the DVD was one of those, if you guys remember like Hollywood Video and Movie Gallery would do their exclusive releases, they would have like the stickers on them. And I remember this, not this release obviously, but my old DVD having a sticker like planted on the actual artwork. It was a part of the artwork that said Hollywood Video and Movie Gallery exclusive. And that's where I picked up the movie, and I don't have the DVD anymore. I don't know why I got rid of it, but I'm glad I found this Blu-ray. I'm glad I decided to watch it again because it was on my mind. I wanted to see it again. And so 100 Feet, if you guys don't know about this, it is about a woman played by Famke Janssen. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. From House on Haunted Hill, the 1999 movie. She was in X-Men and in 007's GoldenEye film. She plays a woman who is returning to her town home after serving time in prison. And the reason why she was serving time is she killed her husband while she was defending herself. And, you know, for the longest time, she would go to the police and let people know about what her husband was doing, but no one wanted to help her. They pretty much just kind of turned away from her or didn't really believe her at the time. And so her husband was on the police force, and so that was a big reason why the police working with him didn't really do anything to help her out. But so she defended herself, and her husband died, and she was sentenced to prison. Well, her last year, she is actually on house arrest, and so she has to stay in her house and stay 100 feet. Otherwise, you know, she'll go back to prison. So she's in this townhome. She's trying to get her life back in order the best she can. And once she gets in there, she starts noticing like noises or creaks that would happen. And come to find out later in the movie, her husband's spirit has been trapped in this house. And so he's pretty much going now on revenge, getting back at her. And so she's being terrorized, she's being beaten by her husband's spirit. And once again, people don't want to believe her at first. And she's trapped in this house with him, with his spirit. So 100 Feet, again, it's a movie that not a lot of people talk about. It is a film that went straight to DVD or Blu-ray. And like I mentioned, you know, when you see this cover, it's not a completely bad cover, but it might be something that you bypass when you see it now at like a used movie store. or if like you're online, like eBay, for example, because I know the Blu-ray's out of print, but you can get it pretty affordable on eBay. Same with the DVD. But you might bypass, picking it up because of the cover. Again, not a bad cover, but not like, a cover that's going to wow you. This movie is great, though. I don't know how people really feel about this, though, because not a lot of people talk about it. At the time when I saw the movie, back in, I think, 2009, no one was really talking about it anyway. It just so happened that there was this one person who I knew at the time who talked about the film, and he said to check it out. And if you've seen the movie The Entity from the early 80s with Barbara Hershey, which is one of my favorite films, it's similar to that, but they're different experiences, and there's slight differences there. 100 Feet, it might not be the scariest movie, but it does have some intense moments. It also has a great performance by Famke Janssen, and again, hopefully I'm saying her name right. She does a great job. Overall, really good performances from people that are in this movie. It has a nice story. Again, nice build-up. It doesn't just like jump right away and stuff happens. It takes like maybe 25 minutes for stuff to really go on. But yeah, I was impressed with this. Another thing that really sold me was the name Eric Reed. It says an Eric Reed movie. And when I got the Blu-ray in, I looked at that name and I was like, that sounds really familiar. And going to his IMDb and looking at his work, he's wrote a lot of screenplays, a classic movie that I'm going to talk about in a minute, but he's also directed some stuff. One of the things he's directed that I love is the 90s Bad Moon film, the werewolf movie. Which I might review at some point again, because I do love that film, and I have it on Scream Factory. If that's still available, guys, which I think it is, go pick that up, because you do get the unrated cut of that movie, and it's definitely a better version. Again, I'll review that at some point. But he also wrote the screenplay for the original Hitcher, and that movie is one of my favorite films. I know it's loved by so many people. We're still waiting for a Blu-ray release of the original Hitcher, but he wrote that. And so again, the name sound familiar. The name did sound familiar. And so I was really just impressed with, he's not done a lot of like major movies, but the stuff he's done that I've seen, I love his stuff. So I love this movie personally. Again, I don't know what people think about it, but I do love it. And it's definitely one to check out if you've never seen 100 Feet. Again, great performances. If I had some complaints, it is a somewhat lower budget movie. So some of the, CGI effects might not be like the greatest, but they're not terrible either. One of the things that kind of made me a little bit hesitant when I picked up this Blu-ray, because I didn't notice it when I first watched it, was that Asylum Home Entertainment released it, and normally, not all the time, but most of the time their stuff's not the greatest, but this is definitely one of their better films. Again, I think it's because you have really good performances and you have a director, and I think he wrote and directed this movie, that's also had experience with other films within the horror movie genre, the thriller genre. And so, yeah, I would recommend 100 Feet, guys. I'm going to give this movie, out of a rating, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 4. You do have some great scares in this, some great intense moments. It can get really intense at times. And again, you got Famke Janssen, who does a great job. I've never really had a complaint with her as far as her movies and television shows go. I've kind of heard 50-50 things about her in person, but as far as her television and movies go, I'm a big fan of her stuff. So, but yeah, 100 Feet, guys, check it out. Again, only tiny complaints would be that, you do get some, not the greatest CGI, but not terrible CGI. Everything else, from the story to the acting to the directing and build up and scares, they're great overall. So 3.5 out of 4. Hope you guys enjoyed my review of 100 Feet. Definitely look it up on eBay and see if you can pick up a Blu-ray or DVD. And if it's available on any streaming service, check it out that way too. So if you've never seen it, definitely check this one out. It's worth definitely watching. If you want to watch it first, again, if you can find it on streaming, do that. But if you can pick it up for a good price, check this out. I think I got this for $18. So, going into it somewhat, kind of, with, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a blind buy, but going into it not really remembering too much of the movie, just kind of the idea. $18 could have been a little bit too much, but normally this thing goes for like $75, so I thought $18 was a reasonable price. So definitely, if you want to get your hands on a physical copy, DVD or Blu-ray, look on eBay. I know they're not available on Amazon, but check out eBay. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Kind of a spontaneous review, but I definitely wanted to get another video out before this week ended. So if I don't see you this weekend, I hope you all have a great weekend coming up, and I'll definitely talk to you guys next week. So as always, you guys are awesome. You guys rock. In with the positive, out with the negative. Go eat some Skittles, and so much love to you all. And I'll talk to you soon.